Boy, that was a good shot. You get that? This fire is now getting very well underway. We have 2 trucks here from the fire department, Clark County Fire District number 5. Also, we have the Orchards Ambulance Company that followed in as the owner-operator of that is a volunteer fireman, and he follows in on every house fire. We have a dummy placed inside yet. Firemen are going to work their way in to rescue our victim there. The fellows are starting to work on it with a 2.5-inch fog nozzles, operating on a pressure of around 90 pounds at the nozzle. It's getting pretty smoky in there now. It's getting pretty thick. We have a man that is going in now to rescue our dummy out of there. He has a mask on. He's going in from the rear of the house. From the front of the house, we have 2 men going in with a 2.5-inch line. They have their gas mask on. The one fireman there is trying to cool the interior to where they can make an effective rescue there. Rescued our victim from the fire inside. They have dragged him out. That's a part of a fireman's job, is to get right in to save human life. That is the main reason that they're here, is human life comes first, property comes second. They're packing him off to one side now to go ahead with their firefighting. Now we have a tremendous fire starting up on the roof here. The fire has finally worked its way up to the top. We're going to have our firemen go to work on that fire with 2 3/4-inch booster lines operating at a pressure of around 400 pounds to see if they can combat that fire and extinguish it. So you'll notice how the flames are jumping around and pushing the dark smoke out ahead of them. That is the smoke and gases that are your killers in your fire. It is not the flame themselves. We have fellows going to work on this fire now with their small 3/4-inch booster lines, operating at about 350 to 400 pounds pressure at the pump. They have to work in close with this and utilize their small streams of water into high pressure fog. They have the fire knocked out in this one room, and we have a man around to the front that will be working in very shortly from the front of the house.
They arced it over, but geez, it took, as soon as they got there, they squalled for help, and it took 3 men to hold the hoses.
All right. We have a tremendous fire again. These firemen are going in with 2 3/4-inch booster lines. They're going to put this fire out, we hope. They're sure going to work on it and see if they can, though. We have one coming in from the south end of the building and one here in the north end. Now these fellows, they're going to have to work in close. They're going to be under a terrific amount of heat. They're only discharging water at the rate of about 65 gallons a minute on that fire, operating at a pressure of around 350 to 400 pounds. They're using mostly a high pressure fog to try to cool the interior of the building, which is going to be difficult as part of the roof is falling in. Another thing we might mention here, that these firemen are all volunteer. They're sticking their necks out on every time they run something like this. They do it not for the thrill, but for the benefit they can give to their community. They have added another 3/4 inch booster line. We have 3 high pressure lines working on that fire now. Alright, they have this fire pretty well under control on this end. One fireman in the back is going to try to work his way inside the building to control the fire in the back. They have done this in a matter of about 3 minutes, that they have controlled this fire with your small 3/4 inch booster lines. As you can see the white smoke rolling up, which is in reality steam. The fire is extinguished, the fire is completely out, which has been done in a matter of about 5 minutes. As you can see here, we have a group of firemen that are taking a coffee break or a 5-minute break to get their hands warm, while the one fireman standing outside with a nozzle in his hand. You can tell that most of those fellows are officers. These fellows now are going to try to hold the fire down a little bit. They're going to let the building go ahead and burn down. This has been valuable training to these men, and also it should be a lesson in fire prevention.
took off from the Portland International Airport with its pilot, Jerry Powell, and a radar observer, James Long. Only a few minutes after takeoff, Powell radioed back that they were in trouble. A few seconds later, the plane crashed and exploded. These pictures show the results of that crash and explosion. Fire District 5 rushed to the scene within minutes after the crash. Additional firefighting equipment from the Portland Air Base also was rushed to the scene. The plane cut through trees for about 1/2 mile and hit some large rocks and exploded into the many pieces you see here, killing both the men aboard. Had the plane kept coming, the house would have been destroyed. There was no one in the house at the time of the crash. There were 42 live explosive Mighty Mouse rockets on the plane when it crashed. These are the firemen from Clark County Fire District Number 5 with the firemen from the Air Force and the rescue crews who have to take the chance of stepping on one of these explosive rockets in order to put out the fire and protect the property from further destruction. The press and TV camera people take great chances in getting pictures like these, as they must move in the area where live ammunition is still on the ground. Hal Mason, the cameraman who took these films, had to be careful, as did all of the rest, so as not to step on any of these live rockets. The plane crashed 1/2 mile north of Highway US 830 and about 2 blocks west of Bella Vista Road. It is strongly advised that all unauthorized persons keep clear of crashes, fires, or any other type of accident, so they will not block the roads for badly needed equipment. Fire trucks, ambulances, and police cars must be permitted to move into the area and out quickly.
This is a fire drill. We have a house burning out here on Northeast 54th Avenue. We have put a call in for the fire department now. We have 2 trucks going to make the run on this fire, try their best to extinguish it before the building is completely destroyed. This is a 2-bedroom home, been cleared away to make room for new houses and a new development. You can see we really have a terrific fire on this one. They're right at the start. You went home. These fellas are going to hook onto a hydrant over here. They're going to lay in 2.5-inch lines, try to get water on that fire just as quick as they can. This is known, they have 1 truck working on it with a high pressure line.
Backline or backlight or whatever they call it there.
Reverse lane. Okay, give them a shot. These fellas are making what we call a reverse lay. They're making on this fire, they're making a lay from the fire to the hydrant. And over here we have our firemen working on this fire with 2 3/4 inch, high pressure booster lines, operating on a pressure of about 400 pounds. They're discharging water at a rate of around 65 gallons a minute on that fire, trying to work in close to knock the thing down. We have our other firemen over here bringing in their 1.5 inch lines. They'll be coming into play very shortly now. You notice the fire's jumped over onto a small garage on the back. It's been ignited by radiant heat. It's starting to burn pretty good now. We're trying to get enough water on there to cool it down. Save that building, keep it from burning completely up while we're trying to extinguish this one. Heat is about to drive us away from the camera right about now. It's getting pretty hot here. These fellas, this 2.5 inch line has just been charged. These guys are straightening it out, getting it in position where we can put water on that fire. They have their 2.5 inch lines in the background there. The firemen on the nozzles, they're going to start to work on it right away. We're pumping water from the hydrant down to the fire. The hydrant is about 350 feet away. This fireman Don Breaker you see here in the front of the house now, he's playing water on the porch, trying to cool it down a little bit where he can work in closer. It's kind of hard for him to do right now. He's having quite a battle there by himself. Back at the back of the house, we have 2 firemen back there with 1.5 inch lines, trying to work on that fire, working pretty close, trying to stop it the best they can. You can see they're bothered by the heat problem back there almost as much as we here at the camera are. Hal Mason up here running the camera is sweating, or he's just about to melt in his shoes here. The radiant heat is really terrific. We're about 100 feet away from the fire. So you can imagine what it is for those boys that are working in there close, that they're getting quite a bit more heat than we are. We're looking south on Stapleton Road now, or I should say northeast 54th Avenue. You can see how the traffic is piled up here in just about 5 minutes. This is one of the obstacles in combating a fire of this sort. People are blocking the roads and making it hard for our equipment to get in and out. See, part of the roof is about to fall in now. These fellows have 2 high-pressure booster lines. We're working also on it with a 2.5 inch line with a 7/8 tip nozzle on there for a greater discharge capacity. We're also working on it with our 2.5 inch lines. They're rapidly knocking this fire out now. They're bringing it under control. You notice on that garage in the background, we have 1 line back there to keep it wet, keep it cool, keep it from being ignited by radiant heat. Now there's a big problem with these fires. They have that one pretty well cool now, so that little garage